Hey everybody, thanks for watching the Arkansas Gun Guy. Today, a video about Wonder Nines. What is a Wonder Nine? What guns are on the list and why are they on the list? And I would also love to hear from you guys. What is your impression of the Wonder Nines or definition of, and what is your favorite firearm that's on the list? So as I was making the video, I tried to do a little bit of research to see what I could learn about Wonder Nines, and I found there wasn't a super solid definition of what it was, and the list was kind of fluid. Some lists said the firearms had to be polymer framed. Some said they can only be striker or hammer fired. So Glock was on some, not on others. So the lists were kind of fluid, but across most of the list, most of the firearms stayed the same. And many of these guns are still in production today, such as all these guys on the table in front of you. So the term was tossed around in the 80s and 90s as the firearm industry was trying to get police agencies to evolve from the revolvers, lower capacity revolvers, and they want to be replaced by semi-automatic 9mm handguns with staggered magazines and a double action trigger pull, at least for the first pull. Now, I'll flash the Wikipedia list of firearms appear on the screen somewhere by magic in just a second, and you'll see that not all these are still in production today, but there's still some pretty important firearms on there, such as the first one being the H&K VP70, the first polymer frame firearm. It wasn't a Glock. The first polymer frame firearm from H&K came out in 1970, and I think it had a double stack magazine, and it evolved to the Smith & Wesson 59, which, again, by all accounts, I don't think it's a great firearm, but it was Smith & Wesson's attempt to push the U.S. into semi-automatics. And then in 1975, two really important things happened. CZ developed the CZ75, and Beretta also started production of the Beretta 92, two firearms that have been around forever and have pretty much evolved into a number of different types of firearms, many used in competitive shooting, some smaller and concealed carry, but these guys have evolved and are still super relevant today. So 1975 for me seems to be the kickoff of the best Wonder Nines. I think these are both two fantastic firearms. And then fast forward to 1982, Glock introduced the G17. This is not a Glock. Don't happen to own one, but this is a polymer frame striker fire handgun, and the Glock is that important that it has pretty much revolutionized the industry, and everybody has now polymer frame striker fire handguns, the most popular type of gun today, and it's probably the most copied gun in the world, maybe right behind the CZ75, maybe more so now. But the Glock 17 was introduced in 1982, super important. 1984, SIG introduced the 226 as an entrant into some pistol trials to compete with the Beretta 92, actually. So that was an introduction of a super important firearm in 1984. The Jericho by IWI was introduced in 1990. Now, I question this one being on the list, although it is one of my favorite firearms in my collection, because it's really just a clone of the CZ75. It's a better clone. It shoots better, steel frame versus aluminum frame, but this one was also included on the list. And then in 1993, I think, H&K introduced their polymer frame, hammer-fired, indestructible gun series, the USP, that replaced their iconic P7. This is a gun that was way more modular, way more profitable for the company, and it's with the polymer frame. It could have it could shoot multiple calibers, had multiple safety and decocking options on there, and has been battle tested more than probably any gun on the table. So that is a brief look at some of the Wonder Nines that are out there. For me, again, this is the gun that started it all for me because it was a gun chosen by the Navy SEALs, very iconic. But the Beretta has probably sold more units than anything because it was the original military firearm for 30 years that replaced in 1911. So it replaced the Legend. It became legendary. And this is a fantastic shooter, just a great gun to shoot. Again, the USP, legendary because of reliability. I'll tell you though, as far as shooting goes, if I had to take one shot to win a prize or to save someone's life and shoot a bullseye, I'm going to shoot the CZ75s or the CZ75 clone. This Jericho from IWI, it's heavy, the heaviest gun on the table, but it is absolutely the easiest gun for me to shoot incredibly accurately. So again, these are all just Wonder Nines that I happen to have in my possession this week, and thought I would share those with you guys. We'd love your feedback too. What are your favorite Wonder 9s and what are your experiences with them? Thank you guys so much for watching the Arkansas Gun Guy. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. Thanks.